One of the key speakers at an event held in Lagos to mark the 2026 International Widows Day noted the growing widowhood pandemic across Africa. She noted insecurity, violent conflict, terrorism, alongside harmful traditional practices as factors driving what she called a silent pandemic and one of Africa's most pressing but least talked about humanitarian crises. Rising insecurity, terrorism, kidnappings, wars, and communal conflicts have continued to claim breadwinners and leave families devastated. On the heels of the 2026 International Widows Day, which was observed globally on Tuesday, the 23rd of June, Searchlight today will be narrowing down on our dear country as we discuss Nigeria's conflict situations and the plight of widows. Yes, that's the topic of Searchlight this afternoon, Nigeria's conflict situations and the plight of widows. My guest on the program this afternoon is Dr. Matthew Ayodele, JP. Now, he is a social and humanitarian worker. He is the Oyo State Executive Chairman, Community Chest Council, that's the umbrella body of all NGOs in the state, and is also the CEO and founder, Moam Mediation, Conciliation and Human Rights Organization. Welcome to Searchlight, Dr. Ayodele.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good to have you on the program.
It's a pleasure.
Searchlight is our regular Thursday afternoon current affairs discussion program where we discuss topical issues affecting our dear country, our nation, and our world. My name is Tola Teriba, your anchor on the program.
Thank you.
And now to business, Dr. Ayodele. Now, I'd like to start with this. How far has the advocacy to alleviate the plight of widows as a vulnerable group in Nigeria and Africa gone, especially in the face of harmful traditional practices?
We, generally speaking, we have been trying our best, but I will say that I believe we still have a long way to go. You know, because you still have these cases all over the place, you know, all over the place, throughout the country. So I believe that we still have a lot to do, you know, as far as advocacy, you know, on this terrible issue is concerned.
And so how active have the women folk themselves been? They are the ones at the receiving end mostly.
Well, for me, I think they are trying their best, but also they have not also been able to achieve much. You know, maybe because the needed helps, you know, are not forthcoming. So not much have been achieved, even among women. You know, because I believe that much of the needed help, much of the needed assistance, you know, maybe from government, from NGOs, from, you know, has not been forthcoming. So they have not been able to, you know, do much.
Even the women's groups.
Even the women groups.
Okay, now how bad and how alarming are the current statistics of women that have been widowed by terrorism, banditry, communal crisis, and other violent crimes across Nigeria?
Wow. This issue that we are talking about this afternoon is a pandemic. You know, it's a serious issue. Millions of women, over 3.5 million of women have been affected you know, devastated, you know, because of this pandemic. So a lot of women have been terribly affected because of this harmful, widowhood, whatever. So a lot have been affected.
Okay, 3.5 million within a split
Over.
of how many? Within a split of how many years are we talking about?
Few years, few years, few years, few years, very few years. You know, very few years.
Okay. Now, Nigeria is currently facing the scourge of terrorism and banditry. Now, which of these, well, from your own experience, from your own study or research, which of these against harmful traditional practice has taken the greater toll on widows? You know what I'm saying now is that we have terrorism, we have banditry, and other forms of violence and crimes, communal crisis that have made many women to become widows. Now, which of these has affected women the most? Terrorism, banditry, violent crime, and harmful traditional practice.
I may not be able to actually pinpoint which one is has affected them the most, but I believe all these, you know, issues. I mean, what that you have actually affected women, you know, to a very large extent. You talk about terrorism, you talk about these terrible practices against women. You know, all these things, you know, have actually affected women to a very, very large extent. So here I may not be able to actually pinpoint, oh, this is the one that, you know, that has affected them the most. But I believe very, very strongly that all of them, you know, banditry, terrorism, you know, these are wrongful practices against women, have affected women to a very, very large extent.
So, how worried are you now? We have seen a steady increase. Now, I want to talk about displaced persons now.
Okay.
We have seen a steady increase in the number of displaced pregnant widows that have given birth in most deplorable conditions of neglect, squalor, and penury in the IDP camps. Now, how worried are you about the future of these newborns and even the older children who have found themselves in the IDP camps, and what are the implications for the rest of society?
For me, I strongly believe that if you are a Nigerian and then you love this country, you believe in this country, and then you want the best of this country, you should be worried. You should be terribly worried about this menace. You know, if you are a Nigerian, if you're a patriotic Nigerian, you love Nigeria, you want the best for this country, you should be worried. Because, as I've said, a lot, you know, a lot of women have been displaced. You know, they live in even pregnant women in terrible places. You know, in terrible places. You need to visit some of these their ID camps. You know, I mean, terrible conditions, and they live there. So I believe we should be worried, you know, about this. We should be a well-meaning Nigerian should be worried. I am terribly worried.
And you know, ex-president Olusegun Obasanjo once said that the children in the IDP camps that you refuse to take care of today will become
terror tomorrow.
Of tomorrow.
Yeah.
And what do you make of what the ex-president said?
That is it. That is it. If enough measures, if adequate measures are not put in place to take care of these children, you are very much sure that these children, they will become the next group of terrorists in the country. You know, because they are there, no care, no love, nothing. So in fact, some of them don't even know what is love or what is care. So they grow up, you know, in these terrible conditions, you know, and then before you know it, I mean, it is bad. You know, it is bad. So I believe what the ex-president said, that is exactly, you know, the correct situation of things, you know, in our hiding camps.
The program is Searchlight on Oluyole 98.5 FM, and we are discussing the topic Nigeria's conflict situations and the plight of widows. My guest is Dr. Matthew Oluwasegun Ayodele JP. He is the executive chairman. Oluwashogo, pardon me, Dr. Matthew Oluwashogo Ayodele JP. He is the executive chairman, Community Chest Council of Oyo State. That's the umbrella body of all the registered NGOs here in Oyo State. He is also the CEO and founder, Moam Mediation, Conciliation and Human Rights Organization. All right, Dr. Ayodele, he is a social worker and human rights activist. So, the program is Searchlight, and the number to call to be part of Searchlight this afternoon. We welcome your questions and your contributions on the topic Nigeria's conflict situations and the plight of widows. This is on the heels of International Widows Day, which was marked globally on Tuesday. Number to call is 070 5555 1985. 070 5555 1985. You may also reach us on 080 55009850. Right, Dr. Ayodele.
Yeah.
Why does it appear like the government, especially in northern Nigeria, would perpetually neglect the IDP camps, but rather concentrate on?
It's a terrible one. So I strongly believe that approach of, you know, this, you know, they are not doing enough. They are not doing enough. You can see the handwriting on the wall. You can see the handwriting on the wall all over the place, because this thing keep on increasing on regular basis, on daily basis. So I believe the state government in the north, they need to, especially the governors, they need to buckle up. You see, they need to buckle up and do the needful. They need to buckle up and do the news from this part of the country is nothing to write home about. So I strongly believe that the governors need to come, you know, come together and then attack this menace. Their approach as we speak now is nothing to write home about, and that is why we have, you know, this problem increasing on daily basis.
Okay, how would you rate the efforts of local and international NGOs? That is your area. And so how would you rate the efforts of local and international NGOs to alleviate the plight of widows in violent conflict and crisis situations in Nigeria? And what are the challenges and limiting factors?
As NGOs in this particular area, we are doing our best. We are doing our best, but I strongly believe that we can still do more. I strongly believe that we can still do. We are doing our best, but as I've said, I believe we can still do more, because rehabilitating, you know, the victims involves a lot of money. You know, taking care of this group of people, you've got to get that cash. So if you don't have enough, of course, you know, as NGOs, financially, many of us are limited. So there is a limit to which what we can do. You know, of course, many of us want to. We have a lot of programs, you know, for this set of people, but because we are financially handicapped, So there is little that that we can do, and we are trying our best.
I feel you are supposed to
Talking about the
be
country.
what you are supposed to be reaching out to the international aid organizations, and once you have a genuine case, they will be interested in.
We yeah, we many of us are trying to do that, but mostly the response has not been encouraging. You know, the response has not been encouraging at all. People are trying, people are trying to reach out, but the response has not been, encouraging at all.
Right, let's still talk about northern Nigeria,
Okay.
where terrorism and other forms of violence has taken a greater toll in recent years. Now, I want to talk about some basic factors here, and I want to ask how far has religion, tradition, and culture hindered interventions by the NGOs. And why do I say this? I'll give an example. There is this there was this campaign against VVF in northern Nigeria
Okay.
some time ago. I'm just using it as an example. Some times ago, and of course we had people coming from outside the country and within the country to intervene. They take these children, these girls who have been victims of VVF, forced early marriages into a particular center for the purpose of rehabilitating them and making them forget the trauma that they've been through, treating them with a view to helping them recover. But then something to do with religion and tradition over there with the people of that particular community. They came to that center, chased out the girls and the health workers and the social workers there and burnt down the facility. So this is kind of thing we're asking now when it comes to taking care of those who have been widowed, and organizations like yours, you want to intervene, international organizations. Have you had to experience this kind of thing in northern Nigeria, and how are you dealing with it?
y- um, I want to I want to look at the issue from two different angles. Now, in the north, you know, their religion, their culture, their belief is quite different from what we have here. And I want to believe that is why they did that, chasing away, the health workers who wants to assist, the victims. They believe what they want to do there is against their culture, is against what they practice, which is quite different from what we have here. So, of course, if since things are like that, now, as an NGO, especially those, working in the north, the only thing you can do is to advise and encourage them to keep on, doing the needful. Because culture and religion, as far as Nigeria is concerned, is a very, very sensitive thing. That you have to be very, very careful of. So over there, to them, it doesn't, they don't attach any importance. It doesn't make any meaning. They I mean, to them, it's normal. Their culture, their belief, but that is different from what we have here, in the south here. So, as I have said, what you can only do there, if you have an NGO in the north, is to keep on, encouraging them, giving them seminars, on these issues, and then how to actually handle these issues. So I think that is what they can do, and of course, when you are doing that, you have to, even as an NGO, you have to be diplomatic. You have to be careful, how you carry out this, because they believe that what they are doing is right.
Many a times you do see some of these women right here in the southwest, women from northern Nigeria, the northeast, the
West or
northwest,
central.
and then the North Central, and in the Middle Belt. You see them here on the streets here in the Southwest, and many of them, if you engage with them, they have very pitiable stories to tell. They've been widowed by the crisis in those places, by the trouble in those places. They've lost their husbands, and then many of them barely manage to escape with their clothes, and then maybe a few of their children. So now, when you see these women on the street, and there are quite a number of them here in Southwest Nigeria, what do you think are the implications for us here? Talking about them, well, it's one thing to have women who are homeless, it's also to have children on the streets who are homeless. What are the implications for us here in the Southwest? And is there anything that you think can be done to make sure that they do not become a problem to society?
Now, this is the way I look at it. My own personal view. I believe that those of us who are, at the South here, especially our state governors in the South here, they need to be careful. We need to be careful. Our governors need to be careful. Now, because the influx of this group of people, of course, Nigeria is a secular state. The law says you can, live anywhere you like or things like that. But at the same time, I believe our government needs to put measures in place to control this. You see, the influx of this group of people into the South here is increasing on daily basis.
I'm talking about the vulnerable.
I'm coming. Them. Yes, okay. Yes. They serve as security threat.
Okay.
Yeah, they serve as security threat. You said they are vulnerable. Sometimes we have reports here and there where you discover that some of these women are being used, to perpetrate evil.
Maybe they have no choice, having lost everything before they came down here, and they have to survive.
We are not saying they should not survive, but for me, I'm sharing my own personal opinion with you. I believe that our government in the South here, we need to check. We need to check this. We need to check this. We need to do something about this. Now, I want to thank what the state government, Lagos State government did some few weeks ago. They did the needful. I believe our government needs to work in this area, to avoid these people from becoming a security threat to us here.
Well, a woman on the streets carrying an innocent baby, like I said, who has lost everything, her husband, to attacks up north or in the Middle Belt. I hardly see how that kind of person can be a threat.
Some of these women are being used. Some of these women are being used, to do terrible things. Some of them are being used.
The chairman of
we have NGOs that are working in that capacity. We have NGOs that are working, but the challenge is this: they are too many. They are too many, and I said it the other time. There is a little to which we can do because we are financially incapacitated. So that is the challenge. They are. You see them every day. They keep on coming every day. You see them all over the place, all over the street, roaming around. Go to here in Ibadan. Go to Mokola roundabout. Go to Iwo Road. Go to Molete. You will see them there.
God, they keep coming every day because their husbands.
They move all over the place.
Their husbands are murdered every day, so they keep coming every day.
Our government needs to do something about it for the security of the people.
Or is there any forum that could avail widows in Nigeria, especially those that have been victims of terrorism, banditry, and communal conflict, to speak out and have society's listening ears? Is there any efficient forum like that in Nigeria?
Uh, to the best of my knowledge, I think we have maybe one or two that are working in that area. You know, groups that are helping the um, you know this group of people in this situation. So I think we have maybe one or two of them that are that are working. But for me, I think we still need more. I think we still need more. Of groups, women groups that are taking care of um, um, this group of people. But I believe that we still need more. We still need to do more.
Like I said at the beginning of this program, one of the speakers at that event in Lagos to mark International Widows Day, she did say that this is a silent pandemic spreading rapidly across Africa. And uh, what I mean, how do you see this? The government itself seems to be neglecting. I mean, governments across Africa, we don't see that synergy, and then no one seems to be talking about it. And it is indeed a silent pandemic that is fast spreading across the whole of Africa, especially the crisis centers.
Talking about
This pandemic, widowhood, which is being fueled by communal crisis, being fueled by terrorism.
yeah, if you look at Africa generally, especially using Nigeria as a case study, you will agree with me that this is the situation of things. You know, the government in Africa generally, using Nigeria as a case, a case study, I believe that government is not doing enough. Government can do more. Government can do more. They can do more to solve this menace. So that is what I believe. They can do more. They can do more. They have the means. They have the means. They have the what it takes to do more. So I strongly believe that yes, government in Africa, especially in Nigeria as a case study, they are not doing enough. They can do more to solve this problem.
When it comes to the formal interventions involving the government, NGOs, and international aid organizations, have you also had to deal with corruption as a hindering factor when it comes to these matters? Well, let's spread the drag debt now. The NGOs generally trying to make life better for the vulnerable in society, and then you have the involvement of the international aid organizations and the government. So, to what extent have you had to deal with corruption? It's one of the issues that the handlers of the IDP camps do complain about. That whatever is meant for the people, the vulnerable ones in the IDP camps, corrupt officials always make away with it. So, how far have you had to deal with this?
For me, corruption, as far as this issue is concerned, is a different topic on itself.
Okay.
It's a big issue on itself. You have issues of corruption. People reporting issues of corruption, from these camps. The money, food materials, household materials, things that were supposed to be given to these, people, But you will discover that those who are in charge, those who are in charge, before you know it, many of these things will have been taken away. So the issue of corruption, is a big deal. It's a big deal that we have to do something about it. Even government have to do something about it. You know, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. You know, people that are supposed to take care of these vulnerable people, you see them, you know, embezzling everything. You know, the money, the material, and everything. You know, take them away, which is not supposed to be so. So it is a big issue.
Well, as a social worker and humanitarian worker, I'm sure you must be very familiar with some of these scenarios. I'm talking in the broader perspective about widowhood in Nigeria and Africa generally. A young woman loses her husband prematurely, and of course, in most cases, she used to expect trouble from the man's family, and other forms of trouble from harmful traditional and cultural practices. So, having seen much of these, and probably you are about to intervene in certain cases as a human rights and social worker. Now, what is your admonition to a young woman who has just lost her husband, and what is the first thing to do, bearing in mind that these troubles will be coming like storms, even while she's still facing the trauma of losing her husband? What is your admonition? What does such a young woman do in the immediate terms?
Widowhood in Africa, especially in Nigeria, is a terrible experience. It's a terrible experience. In our organizations, we've had occasion, a lot of, we have intervened, in a lot of issues.
Pardon me, we have someone there on the line. Hello, good afternoon. Oh, we lost that. Do well to call us back. The number to call is 070 5555 1985. 070 5555 1985. The program is Searchlight, and we are discussing Nigeria's conflict situations and the plight of widows. As Dr. Ayodele, we are talking about widows as vulnerable persons, and your admonition to young women who have been widowed at this time.
Yeah, as I've said, you see young women, sometimes in their 30s, in their 40s, losing their husbands. And then after that, life becomes unbearable. Life becomes terrible because their husband is no more. It is not always a nice experience. In our own organizations, we have had a lot of occasions, where we have to intervene, to make sure that these widows are not treated anyhow. Now, try to answer your questions. You are asking for the way out, solutions. Well, number one, I will advise women, widows who have, women who have lost their husbands and then that are being treated badly, by the husband's family, to seek legal, to toe legal way, take steps legally. Like we have cases of women, after the death of the husband, the family people will come around, they take the man's car, and things like that. So one, I will advise such women to seek legal advice.
Does the Nigerian legal system protect women, especially widows, that much? I mean,
I still believe in the we may have one or two issues, but I still believe that as a widow, you can take legal actions. We have some bodies, something like FIDA.
okay.
You know, they are also women lawyers. You can approach them. You see?
Remember, it's a patriarchal society, and that may also tend to rub off even on the legal system. I don't know.
I know. As I've said, there may be issues, but I still believe that if you feel your right is being trampled upon as a widow, you can seek legal advice. You can seek legal, seek legal protection of your right. Seek legal protection, of your right. Number two, as much as possible, be financially independent.
Okay.
Do something about your finance. It will help a lot. It will help a lot. Also, you can also seek for what I call social and emotional support. You have this widows association. Go for counseling. Community sensitization. These are steps that you can that you can take to alleviate that problem. So
we are talking about these steps, seeking legal redress, and having something to fall back on by way of finance and but someone who has been widowed again by conflict and terrorism and has had to be displaced and has found herself in a high DP camp, it's not very likely she will having access to all these things we are talking about. She's vulnerable and at the mercy of society and the government, and that's why I am saying that if these people can be helped, that kind of help by extension would rub off on the children who would be potential terrorists tomorrow. So I don't know how you are looking at this, and what you are the suggestions you are putting forward now are for those that have become widowed in normal situations, and not those in abnormal situations.
Now, in abnormal situations, as you have rightly said, I still believe that they can do something for themselves. However little,
Okay.
however little it may be. They can still do. The Yorubas will say, "Atelewo eni, cocaine tony j." They can, if they give you money today, tomorrow you go there, they give you money. Next tomorrow you go there. Before you know it, you become a nuisance. You become a nuisance. So they can still do something for themselves, however little it may be. By the time you are able to, feed for yourself, feed yourself, feed your children, you are good to go. So they should look for something doing, however little, that that may be. I don't believe in going around and begging people for money, all these no. For how long will you do that? For how long will you do that? So they can still find something doing. For example, you can go to this Bodija market there.
Okay.
You have this we call Alabaru. You can start from there.
Oh, Dr. Ayodele.
Yeah. However little, instead of begging, instead of becoming a nuisance, instead of becoming a nuisance in society. We have some people, there. If you go to Bodija there, they have people to wash their feet. Especially in time of July, they help you to wash your feet, and you give them money. You know, you buy food stuff, they will help you to carry it, you know, to the bus stop. They give you money. It may be small, but start from there.
Okay, we are talking about the dignity of labor, but then for one who has never had to engage in such menial jobs,
You have to start doing something.
through life. Well, you talked about the legal options, but then you must also admit that there is the social factors where such a woman, even if she wins in court, becomes stigmatized, even by women themselves. And then in talking about this, I also want to delve into this. It is what I've seen often. Aside those that become widowed by terrorism and conflict now, those that become widowed in the normal situation where there is no conflict or terrorism or whatever. Now, one thing I've noticed about women themselves is that okay, a young woman loses her husband and then she runs into trouble with the husband's relatives who want to take everything away from her. From the very onset, it is women that will lead the battalion that will go and invade that woman's home. Very often, it is women themselves that lead. And I don't know if you have seen this happen before. I will bring on when it comes to such things. So, is it that women are their own problem, even when it comes to issues of widowhood?
Yes, I gave a seminar, you know, sometimes ago, about 2 or 3 months ago, you know, in this, and I see something along this direction. Àwọn obìnrin gbọ́dọ̀ fẹ́ràn ara wọn. You know, and I told the women that were there, in most cases, women are the enemies of themselves, and that is not good enough. That is not good enough. You know, if one of you, you know, maybe lost a husband for one reason or the other, the others are supposed to come around her. You know, come around her, support her. You know, counsel her. You know, make life comfortable for her, and not the other way around. There are cases like that where you have, you know, women, you know, victimizing. You know, those who are widows among them. You know, the Jobas will say, one rojoy. One rojoy. No. That shouldn't be. So let me seize this opportunity to talk to women here. You know, stop being yourselves enemy. You know.
All right. All right, the program has been searchlight on Oluyole 98.5 FM. We seem to have a challenge with the phone lines, but we have to wind down, and it's been an interesting discussion. We've been discussing the topic, Nigeria's conflict situations and the plight of widows. My guest of the program this afternoon has been Dr. Matthew Oluwashogo Ayodele JP. He is a social and humanitarian worker. He is the Oyo State Executive Chairman, Community Chest Council. That's the umbrella body of all NGOs in Oyo State, and is also the CEO and founder, Moam Mediation, Conciliation and Human Rights Organization. Thank you for coming, Dr. Ayodele.
It's a pleasure.
All right, it's been Searchlight, and next week Thursday is another time, and we're back with another interesting.
Sorry, let me
okay.
Now, the biggest shift happens when widows move from waiting for family help to knowing the laws and having income.
Okay.
That is very, very important.
Okay, and that is very key. All right, next Thursday is another time. I'll be back with another topical issue on Searchlight. My name is Tola Teriba. Bye-bye.
Thank you.